Hello everyone, this is What's Cooking CGH and I'm Sherry with the CGH Health Foundation back with some more easy healthy recipes for you. And I'm calling today's video Strawberry Sampler because I've got several ideas for using strawberries. And of course, when it's berry season, there's nothing wrong with just eating a nice fresh berry just plain as it is. But I have some ideas for ways to dress up fresh berries and what to do with berries that are not so great, ripe, if you will. And then with some frozen berries as well. And so maybe you have never noticed it, you probably have, but strawberries are hollow on the inside. And they're the only berry that has the seeds on the outside, which you can also see very easily. And if you're in a hurry to clean berries, of course, you can take your paring knife and just lop off the top with the stem. But my favorite tool for cleaning berries is a spoon. And I like to use my grapefruit spoon. As you can see, I don't know if you can, it's got a little bit of a serrated edge on it. And if you take a spoon, a nice sharp spoon, and you go in right next to the stem of the berry and dig the tip of your spoon in and pull, you'll come away with that little core, and then you can see the hollow part of the berry. And so I'm like, ooh, it's hollow. What can I do with that? So I thought maybe I could drop in a few chocolate chips. So this could be like a last minute dessert if you're stuck, or just a little treat for yourself. So fill that hollow with some little mini chocolate chips. And if you happen to have some whipped topping in the refrigerator, I have a nice dairy-free one, you can put a little dollop of that whipped topping on top of the berry. And if I were going to serve these for company, and this would be absolutely last minute, you can't make them ahead of time, but they're so quick. I have my little egg plate, and wouldn't that be pretty to serve them that way? So there's my idea for using those fresh, beautiful berries, the ones that are perfectly ripe and ready to eat that way. So I'm one of those people who, when I'm in the grocery store, I'm trying to pick out the perfect package of berries, and you'll find me, if you see me there, turning them upside down and looking. And even though I try to do that, every time you come home with a box of berries, there are always going to be those berries that are maybe not quite there, right? Maybe they've got a white spot on them. They're not quite ripe. They're lumpy, they're bumpy, or they're a weird size like this one. So here's an idea for using those kinds of berries. Maybe they're not as sweet as you expected them to be when you try them. And this is to roast your strawberries. And anytime you roast a fruit or a vegetable, it brings out the natural sweetness. And so what you're going to do is to wash and dry your berries. You can just let them air dry, for a little while before you use them. And then take the stems out, any method that you choose, and cut them into pieces about the same size. And then in a bowl, combine about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, because remember, these are maybe not the best berries in the box, or maybe they're out of season, but you still want to eat some berries. So a couple tablespoons of maple syrup and some vanilla. Combine that together and put your berries in the bowl and toss all of that together. And then spread them out on a baking sheet that has been lined with some parchment paper. And you're going to put those in the oven at 350 degrees. You want to spread them out so they're not touching each other, and roast them for about 30 minutes. And then take them out, and you're going to want to turn them over or stir them up and spread them out again. They're going to start to be seeing some of those black kind of caramelized marks on them. And roast them for another 10 or 15 minutes. And when they come out, you will have these beautiful kind of caramelized berries with the juice in them. And there are all kinds of ways to use these. Strawberry shortcake is the first thing that comes to mind, but you could put them over ice cream. You could stir them into your yogurt for breakfast in the morning, pancakes, waffles. It's a great way for those berries that are maybe not quite what you wanted them to be when you brought them home. So sometimes I will buy too many berries, and I realize that I'm not going to be able to eat all of them. And what I like to do then is stick them in the freezer. So I'll wash them and dry them and take the stems off. And then just like you did with roasting the berries, on a cookie sheet, put down some parchment paper, put your berries down in a single layer and stick them in the freezer. And it really only takes about 2 hours for them to freeze solid. And then you can take them off that parchment paper and put them in a plastic bag and keep them in the freezer. So you have some delicious berries ready to go anytime you want them. So my last recipe is I'm going to be using those frozen berries. So I have a heaping cup of berries that's going to go right into my blender. And the next thing I'm going to put in is about a 1/4 cup of water. Goes right in there. And adding some water, because I am going to be using some olive oil today, but adding some water adds the viscosity, the right viscosity without adding a whole lot of extra calories. So I'm kind of just using the water as an extender for the recipe. I have balsamic vinegar. I don't know if you've ever tried this. My husband calls it the brown stuff. He really loves it. It is sweet. It's usually aged, but it adds a nice tang to your salad dressings plus a bit of sweetness. And the olive oil that I was talking about, same, about a 1/4 cup. So this is an easy recipe to remember. 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1/4 cup of vinegar. And there we go with that. The next ingredient sounds kind of weird, but trust me, it's going to be delicious. I'm going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And last but not least, a couple dashes of salt and a nice grind of black pepper. So maybe just a pinch of black pepper if you're using something that's already ground. And there you go. All the ingredients are in the blender. So let's put the lid on and give it a whir. And there you go. That didn't take very long, especially if you have a good blender. So a lot of people enjoy those strawberry spinach salads, right? But what if you could have that strawberry flavor on every bite of your salad? And that's what this does for us. Let me give it a taste. I'm just going to use my spoon to give it a little bit of a taste. Oh, that is delicious. You should try this recipe and all of our recipes. You can find them at my blog, which is what'scookingcgh.com, or on the CGH website, which is www.cghmc.com. Look in menu and then for our YouTube channel, and you'll find all of our past recipes there as well. Hope you enjoy.